You are listening to an exclusive preview of this week's episode of STF Underground.
So let's talk a little bit more about the announcement for the main event. So why do you think it was announced now versus announced at the show? Like, we see a lot of times kind of wondering who's main eventing. Why do you think that this was the time that they announced to be able to say, hey, the women are the ones main eventing?
I have no idea. To me, it's insane. It's absolutely it's a missed opportunity. Yes, I think they're going to have that media blitz over the next 10 days. They did SportsCenter this morning. But it's a missed opportunity to me because it's not like there was any intrigue, even in the storyline. It wasn't like Seth and Brock were like, no, we want the main event. They knew from the Royal Rumble that this was going to be the main event. Let's set aside what we talk about, the writing and the build for this match, that's been a real tangled mess. Look at the reaction after the Royal Rumble. That thing was white hot, right?
Completely agree.
Right. They should have announced it right then and there. I think it's crazy that they didn't capitalize on that.
So here's what I think as far as that. So Fox, you and I, if you recall, we went to that pro wrestling meetup at C2E2, Pro Wrestling Fans Meetup. And one of the questions that was posed to the crowd was, which match should be main eventing WrestleMania? And a okay majority of the crowd answered Kofi Kingston and Daniel Bryan. And the thing is to me, Kofi Kingston and Daniel Bryan has officially taken over as the most popular storyline versus the women, Ronda Rousey, Becky Lynch, and Charlotte Flair, to where that was becoming kind of a question as to who should be main eventing. So I think that just to kill the momentum of what should be main eventing versus what shouldn't be, I think that that's what they had to do, is just announce that right then and there.
Maybe. And again, okay, so at the Royal Rumble, Kofi Kingston was not a thing. Kofi Mania was not a thing at the Royal Rumble if they had just announced it then when Becky won. And then even the following night, I guess, right, it was Charlotte was inserted into that the main event or whatever. I could be wrong on the timeline. But the fans are not clamoring for Kofi and Daniel Bryan to be the the ultimate last match. They just want Kofi to be in the World Championship match. They don't, right? I don't really care where he is on the card as long as, they're given decent time and it's a great match. So I don't think anybody has a problem with it. I think this, like I talked about, there's the media side of it, and then, the media and the moment side of it, and then there's the storyline side of it. Obviously, the Kofi storyline has been completely, superior, but it doesn't make for as good of a moment as the Four Horsewomen.
Well, and I agree with you, and I don't think that anybody, including myself, has a problem with it. And if they do have a problem with women main eventing WrestleMania, they, just shouldn't be listening to this show. But my thing is more of a popularity thing, right? So I think that the top storyline, popularity-wise, the, as you put it, the white-hot storyline, tends to close the show. And I think that right now, that, the most popular storyline happens to be Kofi Kingston versus Daniel Bryan. I mean, even Becky Lynch came out at the culmination of SmackDown Live to congratulate Kofi Kingston, which was, pretty big deal.
Like what you heard? New episodes drop every week. If you want more content, follow us on Facebook at STF Underground Podcast or on Twitter and Instagram at STF Underground.